Now we bring you the story of an American pioneer. Before man ever set foot on the moon, one Air Force fighter pilot climbed the highest step in the world, and what he did there made history. It's a place where only a few people have ever been, and those who have been there stayed for just a moment.
When I got there, I had to drift for 11 minutes while the gondola drifted right over the right spot.
Getting there isn't easy, but dying there is.
Above 65,000 feet, blood boils.
It is the place where the heavens meet the earth. However, its calm, silent beauty masks a deadly environment.
I can see 450 miles. I could look up and see the black sky. And I was fascinated how beautiful it was, but it was also hostile because right outside there's a vacuum.
In 1960, a balloon carried then Air Force Captain Joe Kittinger to an altitude of 102,800 feet, about 19 miles up. At that height, there is no air to breathe, and temperatures drop to 100 degrees below zero. He is one of the few who has ever been there. He is, however, the only man who's ever done this.
You feel like you're suspended in space, but actually you're going down, and you're constantly increasing the speed as you free fall. I looked up at the balloon, and the balloon was firing into space. And I realized that the balloon was stable, and I was the one that was going down at a very high rate. I reached 614 miles an hour.
He was in free fall for an unheard of 4 minutes and 36 seconds. He wouldn't slow down until reaching the denser air in the lower atmosphere. When his main chute finally opened at 17,000 feet, it took him another 10 minutes to reach the ground. The leap set multiple world records, records which still stand 52 years later. However, Kittinger and his team weren't interested in accolades.
We had accomplished what we set out to do, and we'd gotten all the scientific objectives that we established, so we were very, very happy. We showed that man could work in space, and a lot of the things that we learned about temperature control and communications and astronaut selection and so forth was used by NASA when they went into space. So it was a prelude to the space program, and we gathered information that was used by the space program.
Kittinger made a total of 3 jumps as part of Project Excelsior. The project was aimed at developing a means for man to function in a space environment and also to find a way to safely escape from high altitude. The pressure suit he wore protected him from the elements. However, when one of his gloves failed to pressurize, his hand swelled to twice its normal size. He didn't tell his ground crew for fear they would abort the mission. In addition to the suit design, his team developed a drogue chute to stabilize a pilot forced to bail out that high up. This chute prevents a pilot from going into a violent spin and passing out, something Kittinger experienced on a previous jump. Today, every ejection system in the world uses this system developed by him and the Project Excelsior team.
We were doing research that needed to be done. We had dedicated engineers and scientists and sergeants that made it happen. And we had a great opportunity to contribute to science and to space programs. And I was in the right place at the right time working for the right man.
Now, the man Colonel Kittinger refers to working for is Colonel John Stapp of the Aero Medical Lab, whose research was vital to the space program. We'll bring you more of Colonel Kittinger's story throughout the week, including his experience as a combat pilot, prisoner of war, and his work on a project which could break his old record.